Good morning. Okay, we've been talking about old school strategies that actually work better today. And as I'm thinking through these things, yesterday we talked about using, ancillary kind of distribution things, guerrilla things, little business cards, public notice flyers. Someone commented about flyering windshields. All of those things were the low-cost distribution method that we had. And now, today, we've got Meta that can deliver everything, those little digital flyers or business cards to exactly the person that you want for less than it would cost you to print them off. So it's a bottomless opportunity there. As I was thinking about some of those things, though, I realized one of the strategies that I was doing, I'm talking about putting together the guide to Halton Hills or the Toronto and Beyond guide, and our model was the only distribution things were running print ads to get people to call and listen to a recorded message or fill in and fax in the information request or mail it in. And then every 2 weeks, we would mail them in the physical mail updates of all of the new homes that came on the market. And I realized certainly what that was doing is it's educating and motivating people, even though I wasn't calling it that then, that it was really bonding with the people who were going to be future leads, because they raised their hand and said, I'm interested in Halton Hills real estate. So sending them updates on all the new properties that came on the market is a super smart thing. And the only way we had to do it was through the mail. And I realize now that with email, I remember thinking distinctly about how lucky the old school, back then, the old school guys, Claude Hopkins and Albert Lasker and the Kennedy, all these guys that were in the 20s mailing letters for a penny. And I remember thinking to myself, man, if I can mail letters for a penny, I'd be rich. And now here we are, and we can mail infinitely for zero. We can send a message directly to somebody, personalized, and they can reply to it. It's amazing. And then I was thinking about back then, late 90s, there was a woman in Toronto called Lucy Zilio. And if you grew up in Toronto, you probably remember that name. She had a show on television called Tuned In with Lucy Zilio, and it would run in 30 and 60-second blocks interstitially throughout the evening's programming on Omni Television or on Rogers City TV. And you think about, it was a brilliant use of excess capacity of remnant space that the advertisers had not yet sold to traditional advertisers, but it set it up that she became a host, and all of the people who were featured on that were business owners in the Toronto area, where it gave them kind of the scaffolding and the kind of approval of being in this known quantity, this trusted Lucy Zilio. She had become what they weren't calling it that, but she had essentially become an influencer. And her distribution was in remnant space on television. And I was thinking how it would be so easy for somebody today to become the Lucy Zilio of any market, where they create a show that just spotlights local businesses. And as I was thinking about the combination of the 7 ways that people spend money, these 7 are really a recurring thing here. And next journal, we're going to see these coming into place, but thinking that everybody spends all of their money on their home, on their car, on their food, on their health, on their money, on their kids, and on themselves, that each one of those categories has many different ways that if somebody had an advocacy relationship with those people, you'd have an amazing trust-based distribution network there. So as I'm looking through these things, the foundational ideas that worked back then would work even better today. So pay attention to the old school stuff and take advantage of the new opportunities that we have. I got a funny email the other day from Rick. It says, Dean, question. Are you saying you can teach me to make fat stacks by hanging out at a pub, drinking coffee like you? And I laughed to myself because I was thinking, yes, I can do that. That's what I do. Is the funny thing, what I really realized is that every idea that I've had, every dollar that I've made over the last 30 years has gone through my brain, through my pen, onto a piece of paper in my journal before it went out into the real world. And if I can turn people onto that activity as a driver for what to do, what to think about, what to ask yourself to draw out what the next most valuable action is for you, and how to find the most profitable things that you can install in your business, I'm all for it. So this Friday at 1 p.m., I'm going to do, for the first time, a 50-minute profit finder workshop. And you're going to join me live on Zoom, and we're going to go through a 50-minute exercise. Bring your pen, bring a notebook or piece of paper, and I'm going to guide you through a thinking process that will help you identify where the lowest hanging fruit is in your business, and maybe some fruit that you didn't even know was there, but I'm going to show you where to look for it. So it's free. It's for you. It's Friday at 1 p.m. this Friday. Just watch, go to, what did we call the website, Josh?
50-minute profit finder.
Just go to 50minuteprofitfinder.com and I'll get you all the details, and hopefully you can join us then Friday, 1 p.m.